at you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile? Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment.
Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ann and this is Postcards from My Golden Years. I'm so happy to see you face to face. It's been a while. We've done quite a few videos, but we've been out and about sharing what we're doing and what we're up to. Today, I want to give you a little bit of information. So, as most of you may know, well, maybe you're not, who's keeping track of what we're doing, right? Jeff and I have gotten past our first 90 days here in France, living here in France. And what does that mean? It means now that we've been here over 90 days, we are eligible to apply for CPAM, which is the National Healthcare System. So, if you're like me, you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, great, I can apply now. Now what do I do? Where do I go? How do I do that? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to get your documentation translated into French. Here's where you're going to need that certified French translator, and they will affix their seal on it. So do this after you move to France. You can't do this ahead of time from the United States. So you contact the translator, you send them the forms. The forms that we had to get translated were our birth certificates, and this is the long version of the birth certificate that is certified, that it has your parents' names on it. It's not that short little piece of paper. So if you don't have one of the long versions of your birth certificate, you need to get one of those. Then you need to have the entire thing translated by a certified French translator. What else did we have to do? We had to have a copy of our passport. We had to have a copy of our long stay visa. We had to have copies of utility bills proving that we had been living here in France for at least 90 days. What else? I think that was it. Anyway, so you then go to this particular website. I'll put the web address right here. And you complete this application and then you print it out. You attach all of the documentation that they need from you, stick it in a big envelope, and then we went to mail it. Now, we're not real close to a post office. Not that post offices are far away, because everything's pretty close. But the closest area to mail it for us was actually a tobacco store, kind of tobacco cafe combination store. And it had a little sign that says La Poste, and there was a graphic of, it looked like a bird, a seagull maybe. And you'll find these all over France. So you need to just find, if you can't find a post office, go to a tabac that has the La Poste sign on the outside. So the first thing you're going to do, obviously, is you're going to go to the application. Okay, so here we are at the English pages. Okay, so you will scroll down to Application for Membership in the French Healthcare System, S1106 English version, and click on that. And there is your form. It's very easy to figure out. So you'll put your full name there, and if you're a woman and your birth name is not the name you use now as a last name, that will be the first name here, and then your first and middle name as they appear on your birth certificate. Social Security number, leave this blank if you are from the United States. They're not looking for your U.S. Social Security number. This would be your France Social Security number, and if you're making your first application here, you don't have a Social Security number in France yet. So you'll skip that section. You will skip this next line and then move on to your date of birth, town and country of birth, nationality, of course, is going to be other. And then you put in your address, your town, your telephone number, email address. We had to do this manually. Everything else we did online and then printed it out. But for some reason, the email address would not print out space-wise. It stretched the letters too far across, and I couldn't get our entire email addresses in. Okay, the next part. It says if you do not have a personal address, enter the name and address you're using as your home address. This would be, I guess, if you are living on the property of some organization or someplace other than a place you are calling home at the moment. So for us, we're leaving that blank. Then applicants' employment circumstances. For us, not employed because we're retired. Okay, down here, you're going to fill in where it says signed at. This would be the town that you're living in. So we will put Nice, France there. You will put whatever town you live in France. And then on the date, which can't be any sooner than 3 months from the date you moved or started living in France. And then you print this out, and then you put your signature right there. And when you print it out, it will give you this long list of all of the documents that you need to submit along with your application. So, of course, you'll need a copy of your passport. You'll need a copy of your long-stay visa, which is in your passport. Let's see, you'll need if you're looking for you're going to need this, a copy of the long version of your birth certificate. We had ours translated by a certified French translator. So it was certified with her stamp on it. If you're employed, you need a photocopy of the documentation of your employment. And then you need to be able to provide other information if you are not employed. So we will present a copy of our Social Security statement for this. And then you also need proof that you've been residing in France for more than 3 months. And for us, I just simply printed out 3 months copies of our electric bill. They have both of our names on them, so they're interchangeable. And we each have to apply individually. And So this is the application. You also have to have a French bank account because you need to provide the RIB or IBAN number rather for your bank account. And you can get that by just going onto your bank account website. And I'm sure there's a link to pull up the IBAN information, and you'll put that there so that the French health system has a place to send the reimbursement money to you. Sent our applications in the envelope by registered mail, and what that allowed us to do was to get cards back with documentation proving that it was received by the CPAM that we sent our applications to. Now, after you complete your application, you can go on the website, the Amelie website, and you can pick up the address, the nearest CPAM office for you. Here in Nice, there are multiple offices. I simply picked the one that had the same zip code as us, and that's where we mailed our applications to.
So here we are at the post office with Anne working her best to fill out the labels to go with like a registered mail. And as we look around the post office here, we see it's one of those post office with beer taps and lottery tickets. So sometimes it might not be like a genuine official place. It's called a relay. And what a relay means is you pay them and then they give it to somebody else, and somebody else takes it to the post office. And here's your first receipt back. So if you're thirsty and you need a beer, this is the post office to head for. Or maybe need a lottery ticket.
Now, we haven't gotten anything back. The first thing that we will probably get back is a letter with our social security number, our France social security number, not to be confused with our US social security number. So once we get the temporary social security number, then we'll be able to move through and we will eventually get our permanent card proving that we are on the French national health system. Now, what I have been told is once you make application, once you're here 90 days, any medical expenses you incur, you need to save the receipt and ask for them at the pharmacy, ask for them at the doctor's office, ask for them at the lab. Save all of these, and then once you are officially in the CPAM system, you can submit all of those invoices for reimbursement from the French government, and typically it's around 70% reimbursement. So don't forget to save your receipts if you have any in the interim while you're waiting for your plastic card. So anyway, it's that simple. So I have put a link to the website below, and it was on the screen that I showed you. So you can go ahead and do that if you've already been here for 90 days. Don't wait. The longer you wait, the longer it takes to get your social security number and get you up on the system. And if you're like us, you prepaid when you applied for your long stay visa, you had to prepay for a whole 1 year health insurance policy. If you don't want to have to do that again before your next renewal, you want to apply for CPAM as soon as your 90 days is up. Otherwise, when it comes time to apply for your visa, you'll have to buy another prepaid health insurance policy to cover you until you get up on the CPAM system. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope this has been helpful. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.